Sonic Adventure 3, the game that everyone says already exists, yet no concrete evidence to support those claims. Whether or not this game is real, the fact is, no Sega-developed game currently holds the title Sonic Adventure 3. So even if fans consider Sonic 06, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Unleashed, or whatever other Sonic game to be Adventure 3, it's not technically Sonic Adventure 3, unless it specifically says it on the game title, or unless Sega themselves confirm otherwise. So while this may never happen, here are 10 ideas for what could potentially make the hopeful wonder Sonic Adventure 3. Number 1. Story Mode. In Sonic Adventure 1, Dr. Eggman uses Chaos, a deformed Chao, to help him do evil works and try and take over the world. In Sonic Adventure 2, Eggman again tries to dominate the world, this time by creating the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog. After thinking for a good while, I have no idea what the story to a Sonic Adventure 3 game should be like. But that doesn't mean there aren't some good ideas out there. Since many fans claim other games to be Sonic Adventure 3, why not take the story from said games and use it as the basis for Sonic Adventure 3? Well, obviously because those games already exist in their own right, but what about Sonic the Hedgehog, better known as Sonic 06? Although this game gets a ton of flack, I've heard people say that aside from all the glitches, it's actually a really good game. I've not played or seen much of it myself, but if the story is anything worthwhile, maybe that can be the plot of this game, as long as they change certain things about it. And if not that, there's some fan-made stories that could probably be really well done, so long as they don't go too far. I'll have a link to this specific one if you'd like to check it out. Regardless though, the story is something that would have to be memorable in a good way and make sense at the same time. If it's anything like the first two games, Sega could probably pull it off. Just keep your fingers crossed. Number 2. Hero, Dark, and Neutral Pathways. Sonic Adventure 2 took the story idea from the first game and made it into a sort of hero-villain pathway. Instead of each character having their own individual stories, you got to play as the good guys or the bad guys. And this worked so well for the time. For Sonic Adventure 3, perhaps they could expand upon this idea. Instead of having Hero and Dark, why not combine them into one massive story? Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy could be your good guys. Shadow, Metal Sonic, Rouge, and, get this, Infinite as your dark team. Not necessarily bad, but dark. So when recording this, I actually forgot that Shadow kind of died in the previous game, so maybe instead of him, it could be like Mephiles or a different Sonic character? I don't know. And a neutral team hired by the GUN Force, the government of the Sonic Adventure series, which could configure of other popular Sonic series characters, such as Jet the Hawk, an E100 series robot, SBO, because I'm not sure who else, and arguably the most popular, Silver. Each of these characters could be used for unique gameplay styles, which beeth my next point. Number 3. Unique gameplay styles. One thing I treasured about Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was the many different styles of gameplay this installment had to offer. Racing, platforming, mech stages, emerald hunting, and boss battles helped keep the pace of this game fresh and interesting, offering unique level variety and a sense of accomplishment each time you completed a level. For Sonic Adventure 3, I would prefer if they brought most of these back, but also added something new to the mix. For example, you have Sonic, Shadow, and Jet for racing, but each races a little differently. Sonic is all about speed, and his levels should be getting to the end goal as quick as possible. Shadow is also about speed, but with a little more emphasis on platforming. Jet, another speed character, is more about racing, and his levels could consist of racing opponents in different ways, by foot, on snowboards, hoverboards, etc. And for the rest of the cast, Tails can roam around freely and fly in some levels for platforming, and use his robot mech or airplane for shooting objects and enemies in other levels. Metal Sonic can do his thing, the E100 series robot for his. Knuckles, Rouge, and Espio could search and hunt for emerald shards, each having their own abilities. And lastly, Amy, Silver, and Infinite for puzzle solving. Okay, this last one I made up, but given their unique abilities, Amy with her Pico Pico hammer, Silver able to levitate objects and move them, and Infinite who can erase and create objects out of thin air, this seems the most logical from my standpoint. As long as it's able to function well with the core gameplay of the Adventure series, and keep it fun without it being like a chore, these game modes and more could make for great level variety. And who knows, maybe we'll actually get something like this in the future. Also, the controls should feel just like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Solid, fluid, good, not too fast or laggy. Gameplay needs to feel fluid like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle did, not like Sonic Forces did. Number 4, bonus modes. I like that both Sonic Adventure and the sequel offered more challenges than just the main objective for each course. The mission modes allowed for more laid-back bonus content to help add that extra layer of flavor on top of an already awesome game. Some included collecting 100 rings, beating within a certain time limit, amongst many different objectives. More incentive to play mission mode so it could be more rewarding, but as long as it returned, I really couldn't complain. On to the next point. Number 5, multiplayer mode. A returning multiplayer mode just like in the previous game, and this time have up to 4 players able to play at once. Sonic Adventure 2's multiplayer was too good for only 2 players. Having levels and stages to play on, including ones you unlock from the single player story, for multiplayer as you progress through the game. Also, being able to play characters like Vector, Charmy B, Chaos Zero, and Tikal exclusively for this mode would add to the experience, especially if you could unlock some characters for multiplayer mode. Speaking of which, number 6, Supersonic and Super Shadow. Having Supersonic and Super Shadow being unlocked as a reward for beating the full game, potentially, this would probably make replayability really fun and broken, but wouldn't want it to overpower regular Sonic and Shadow's abilities, to the point where there'd be no point picking them. There's no doubt it'd be cool, just as long as it's somewhat balanced, for however that could be done. Number 7, a new and improved Chao Garden. So many Sonic Adventure fans like the games specifically for the Chao Garden, and apparently some only like it for that. I have nothing against the Chao Garden, but admittedly I never really got into it, so unfortunately there's not much I can say here. But it'd probably be good if there were multiple Chao Gardens the player could unlock as they're going through the main game, each in different kinds of environments, as well as having some be more expanded upon. And maybe you could find different animals in each environment to help raise your Chao stats. Oh, and the minigames, I'm sure people like those as well. But I hope this is at least somewhat an idea of what people want for an expanded Chao Garden. And of course, portability with the Nintendo Switch. Number 8, online play and multiplayer battles. Online play, where you can challenge up to 3 other people in races, mech fights, emerald hunting, platforming, Chao challenges, which could probably support from 8 to 12 players. Whatever. Online multiplayer is a must for many games, and I think Sonic Adventure 3 could certainly benefit from it, if it ever were to happen. Number 9, new abilities. Kind of playing off an earlier point, I like the idea of having each character fleshed out a little bit so they stand out in their own unique way. The different abilities you unlocked in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 offered good variety for each character and helped them stand out from one another, even if it was only slightly. Whatever new ideas and upgrades the team at Sega could come up with, as long as it fits well with the core gameplay, it should be a thing to look forward to. Number 10. Good voice acting. Sonic Adventure is notorious for its voice acting and cutscenes.
What's up, Knuckles? Something bugging you?
Not that it was necessarily bad or anything, but the animations never really matched up with the wording, and oftentimes characters would interrupt each other.
You're not even good enough to be
I'll
my
make you eat those words!
Number 10. Boss battles. Chaos. Whatever bosses we would face, whatever ideas the developers would come up with. What if, similar to Sonic Adventure 1, you're fighting all of Chaos's forms as you progress through the story? Start off fighting Chaos Zero, who's weaker and quite easy to defeat, and eventually end up fighting Chaos 7, Perfect Chaos. Even if it's a side part of the story that doesn't link with the main plotline, it'd be a cool throwback to fight all 8 forms of Chaos, each one harder to beat as you progress, and maybe after beating the whole game, a boss battle mode could be unlocked or something. Anyways, those are some of my ideas for what the next Sonic Adventure game could benefit from, if we ever were to get one. But let me know in the comments what you think of these ideas, and if you have any of your own, or ones that you'd hope for. Thanks all for viewing. Have a nice day.